there is one thing that did happen on my trip. So I may or may not have gotten injured fighting a piñata. Yeah. But I can explain. That piñata came out of nowhere. It became alive. It was of a black sun, and it said, "This isn't even my final form." And I went and defended the bride and groom, knowing that the final blow would take them out, and I knew he would sacrifice my 2 fingers, but it was worth it in the end, and I punched it square in its dumb face. But in reality, I went to hit the piñata, and the stick flew out of my hands, and it sprained 2 of my fingers. Oh, there was a bit of a scare. So for those that weren't here when I said it, I went to Mexico this last week, and for a wedding. And I was like, I had this sudden fever in the late at night, and I don't know if y'all are like this, but my fever tends to, whenever I'm sick, I tend to feel very good during the day, and then as soon as the evening starts creeping in, that's when the fever starts spiking and I start feeling like really gross and everything. And so I was like, oh damn, I might be getting sick. So I was checking my body, because I was like, okay, let's make sure it's just like a cold, right? Let's see if there isn't just like a tick somewhere, or something that's like, obviously it's something else on my body that's a problem, right? Because being in a different country, you have to be a little bit more cognizant for that. And I look, and there's a red itchy spot on my leg from like a bug bite or something, and there's this blue tint around the skin of it, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I'm like Googling, I'm like, Mexican infection, blue spot, blue bruise, red itchy, just constantly like going through all the possible different like things it could line up to be. Guys, I put blue aloe on it earlier that day. It was aloe. That was blue. And I took a shower, because I like taking showers normally, but I especially do it when I have a fever. And oh gosh, I was like, man, I'm a fucking idiot. That's why I lock myself in my room whenever I get home from school and don't socialize. I do want to get an infection. Look, Luca, I know that, like, doing what you can in order to not get sick, I understand. But it is something that it's better for you to not have that be at the cost of you being able to live the life you want to live. Because there's certain things that you just don't have control over. And you could live in a bubble if you want, but is that the life you want to live, So I think, in my opinion, it's better to, as long as it's not lethal, as long as it's not, you have a disease that make it so that you cannot, if you get sick, you die. Can't socialize, to be honest. I could barely talk to anyone at school. And you know what, Luca? You talking with me on here is going to help you with your socialization. Socializing on here does help. But, it will, I recommend also developing your social skills. Take some communication classes, things of that nature. Luckily for me, though I tend to be a very introverted, I also have kind of hit the lottery a bit where I'm very personable. And that's probably because I've grown up throwing all my stats into charisma. My brother was strength, mine was charisma. So I've kind of learned. If I were to point to something, it was the fact that I moved a lot. Like, I've moved like 17, 18 times in my life. And when you're uprooted that many times, and you're in like a new school and you don't know anybody, and you have to start fresh again and again and again, like you learn how to make friends fairly quickly. Their also extinct and closest relative was, oh my god, look at this. Look at this mother trucker. Look at him. This long ass neck. Damn. That exists. Conservation? Yeah, extinct. I can't imagine why. Man, fucking with that neck game? Are you kidding me? He just looked at the dodo, was just like, I'm taller though. Maybe I should make this version. It's like, Mama Dodo, do you want a really long neck like this? No? Why not? The closest living relative to the dodo is the Nicobar pigeon. Ooh, that's a very pretty pigeon. The fuck? With its, like, fluorescent feathers? This is the closest relative? Were dodos, like... What's with this pale fucking grayscale feathers? Sorry, Mama Dodo. But then you go to the closest relative. It's like that one relative that's like excelling in life, and your parents keep talking about like why, and they just keep on comparing you to their one relative. Like, but what? So-and-so got... Everyone knows that every SeaWorld park should have at least one dodo. I don't even think it's legally classified as a park, unless it has dodos. Subfossil remains show dodo measured around... Oh, here we go. Dodo measured around... Ooh! Dodo's around 2.05 to 2.46 feet. That's how big Mama Dodo is. If I were to guess between here... Mama Dodo, are you a small dodo or a big dodo? I feel like that's a rude question to ask. On the smaller side? Don't ask a woman her weight? Yeah, sorry about that. It was taken from mammary gland. Got you. So she came from a boob, but she was the first mammal to be cloned, just not the first animal. If I had to guess, it would be zebrafish. Scientists fucking love fucking with zebrafish. I don't know. It's probably because it's just very well understood and the genetic makeup has been completely taken over. Now you'll see why that every single guy that you've seen refuses to wear jackets. In like 30-degree weather. And you're like, what's the big deal with that? And then it's just like, well, the testosterone protects us. Should I be expecting in terms of just male in general? Sheep polycule? That's funny, Ratty. As far as being male in general, you more than likely you'll run hot, aka you know, cold won't affect you but heat will. I don't know about your situation, but I know for me, it I'm just gonna lay it out there. Balls get stuck to the leg. A lot more than you think it does. So the whole like joke about men just kind of like doing those weird side steps where they're just like, ugh, and then just try to like unstick it. It's true. So that's something. You will, I'm trying to think of other things too, like culturally. I'll try to stick to the non-super depressing ones. You will be assumed to be the person paying for, like, the table. So you know how, like, the waiter or waitress comes to the table and they're just like, oh, okay, here's the check. They'll usually put it in front of the guy. So that's a little bit of a something. Same is the case for getting your car checked. It will be much less likely to, like, try to take advantage of you, because they'll just assume that you know what you're doing. I guess a little bit more on the depressing side, you'll have to be a little bit more cognizant on, you are often, I wouldn't say often, I'll take back that statement. You, more often than a woman, will be seen as a potential threat. So you need to be a little bit more cognizant as far as where you are, as far as like if there's another person there by themselves. Also children. Like walking around and there's playgrounds and stuff like that, you kind of have to stay a bit of away from that, because you can be seen as a potential threat in that kind of situation. Other things, facial hair. I'm assuming facial hair is going to be a thing with you. Electric razor is fine, but if you really want to get like skin smooth, or you want to be completely clean shaven, male razors are just fine. Like bladed ones are good. I don't even bother with shaving cream personally, but I use electric razors mostly. I don't use cologne, so I can't really give a whole lot of facts for that. Though it is uncommon, like Idealist fact, not Idealist the character, Idealist the streamer fact, I have longer hair. I like my hair longer. So depending on how you want to do your hair, I think it's a lot easier for you to get a haircut. It would probably be a lot cheaper depending on what you're going to want to, because guys usually don't have to do that much for their hair. Usually. Whatever deodorant you are currently using, you'll need a stronger one. I can almost guarantee you that. So definitely switch to male ones. I know for me, I unfortunately stink. So I recently had to, I moved away from the aluminum stuff just for, trying to be healthier with that kind of stuff. But what I've learned is that I don't know how often you apply deodorant currently, but at the moment, my current deodorant, after switching away from clinical strength, was like, I put it on in the beginning of the day. By the end of the day, I stink. Like, it doesn't even last a day. So usually twice a day. But if you use aluminum, I think that can last a little bit longer. So if I were to recommend, it would be day-to-day use like a lighter, less strong deodorant. But if you're going to go out or travel or be a little bit more cognizant of your stench, then use the heavier stuff. But I will say there are some guys out there who don't have this problem, right? So it's literally just body chemistry at that point. So you may hit the jackpot and you don't stink, but more than likely body odor will be more of a factor at the very least. Hair will sprout everywhere, like all over your body. You will, personally, you'll get there. You'll get there, Scallion. I don't have back hair problems, but I know my dad, well, not problems, but I don't really have back hair. My dad definitely does. So you might have back hair. I guess it's kind of up to you how much you want to leave and which ones you want to trim. I know culturally speaking, it is often frowned upon to shave and or shave or reduce your body hair like at all. But I think that's becoming less and less of a thing. I will say it was like one of the excuses was like if you swam and you say like, oh, I shaved because I swim, more than likely they're just like, yeah, okay, that's perfectly fine. But I don't know if that's still really a thing now. That might be just like a high school guy thing, right? Like, who gives a shit kind of deal, I was gonna say, like, most people, not wearing shirts. You could probably not wear shirts, like, out in public. It's completely fine, and no one really bats an eye. That's pretty based as a guy that we could do. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for no one wearing shirts, but for whatever reason, I guess female presenting nipples like causes people to clutch the pearls. So whatever. Let me count them. I'm gonna count. So that was how many windows. That was how many windows I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 windows. Let's see. One of them only has one tab. Then I have the social tab window that has all my like YouTube and stuff that are up. And that one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tabs. Then we have the current music playing. That's one. And then I have one that's like, I think I have it set up for trying to get stuff for the API eventually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tabs. Then stuff for job searching, which is like 6 tabs. There's the game dev one that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tabs. Another one that's for the chat box stuff that's currently going on in OBS, which is 4 tabs. I do have Watcher, the Ghost Files stuff. It's like ghost hunting stuff on YouTube. I love their stuff. And then what we're on right now, which is 3 tabs. So in total, it's like 35 tabs ish, maybe a little bit. And I need every single last one of them, Scallion. If I so much as close a single tab, I'm gonna lose my mind. And then I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll open a new window. Or maybe I'll do something even more cursed. What if instead I took a tab and I make every tab its own window? So I'll have 30 windows, but each of them is only 1 tab. Extremely wild woodland creature, purity in grace. Look at that. Look at this one. He's like, and then he called me ugly, and then he said my horn was too thin, and then she's just like, oh, for the love of God, shut up. I don't care. It's just, that's the old version of them trying to convince you not to have sex until marriage, is that, hey, you get this sick ass horse. Imagine being like, bro, look, I got a unicorn horn. Hold on, let me do a test. And it's like, narwhal horns vibrate at a certain frequency, and it just starts jittering, and it's just like, oh no, you got narwhal, dude. It's like, no, not the narwhal. Bovine type unicorn is thought by some scholars to have been depicted in seals in the Bronze Age. That they don't look anything like each other. What the fuck you talking about? Oh yeah, no, I can't think of a thing that looks more like a horse than a fucking seal. You know, with the lack of hoods and the addition of fins. The interpretation remains controversial. Yeah, you don't say. Is the C silent or the T silent? Is it Ctesias, Tessius, or Ctesius? We're gonna do both. We're gonna say both. Or maybe they're both silent, and it's Essius. the strabby one. Pliny the Younger? Who the fuck is Pliny the Younger? Who the fuck is this? Hold on. I gotta know. Who the hell are you? Pliny the Younger? Imagine being called Pliny. Hold on, I need to figure this the fuck out. For the beer? The beer? There's Pliny the Younger? A triple IPA? That's a beer? Oh my god, what? Flutterby's is an amazing name. Someone had dyslexia, and they were also the mayor. So everyone was just like, sir, yeah, no, they're called butterflies the whole time, sir. Totally, yes. And if they said the other version, they would be executed on the spot. They feature predominantly the oral tradition. Oh, in the oral traditions, I need to say things fully. Many stories involve Selkies having romantic or sexual relationships with humans. Hot. sometimes resulting in children. Yeah, what do these children look like, though? Is it come out as a seal? A human? I was about to combine the words, and it was going to be semen. Imagine stealing someone's skin and being like, haha, you can't turn it unless you marry me. And it's like, oh God, that guy. He only can get a wife when he steals their skin. Such marriages are often unhappy. No fucking way. Stealing skin to get a wife is not a sentence that I'd ever hear. Well, welcome to my stream, where we say sentences that are often not heard before, like undead Dodo and capybara seal. A typical folktale of what a man who steals a female Selkie skin finds her naked on the seashore and compels her to become his wife. Come on, please. Come on, please. I have your skin. You have to do as I say. That's how I imagine that conversation went. Did you also know that capybara is also classified as a fish? They are not a fish, but the Catholic Church has classified them as fish for hundreds of years for the purpose of eating them during Lent. That is a thing. They wanted to eat it. So the Catholic Church is like, you can only eat fish during Lent. And it's like, but we want to eat this. And they're like, well, I guess it's just a fish now. It's obviously a fish, am I right? And then everyone's just like, yeah, no, that totally works. This is a reminder, chat, that fish aren't real. Have fun with that. There is no classification of what a fish is. Everything that you would think a fish is, there is no grouping, scientifically speaking, DNA speaking, everything that would say something is a fish. Male Selkies are described as being very handsome in their human form and having great seductive powers over human women. By that, they probably mean just like, hey, did your husband try to steal your skin in order to marry them? And they're like, yeah. It's like, I won't do that, though. And they're like, okay, then I like you a lot more. Very seductive men, I guess. Typically seek those who are dissatisfied with their lives. I called that shit. I called it. Making Dracula pansexual, though, just because I want him to. So, yeah, do it. He's a fictional person. You can make him whatever the fuck you wanted. Guess what? I'm making my version of Dracula asexual. Boom. Done. It's happened. It's real. Interesting. Hey, hi, Silly. How are you doing? I'm learning about Sapphic today. And Aphelion. Or Achillean. You know, just casual learning about Selkies and the umbrella terms for liking women and men that includes all the different variations of sexualities that would classify as such. I know about Yaoi. Thank you. My first girlfriend tried to get me into Yaoi. A lot. Damn Sasuke Naruto fandoms. Maybe don't trust the taste in things with a guy who puts ketchup on his mashed potatoes. You know? Oh, so the husbands are away fishing. And that's hilarious. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going out fishing all day, trying to get the fish to feed your family, and in that process, a fish comes out of the ocean and has sex with your partner? While you're fishing in the ocean's fishing for you. Come back being like, why does it smell like salmon in here? What the fuck have you been doing? We're not talking about Osmosis Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean. That's not the right name. Yeah, actually, that reminds me of a story. I still have the scar to this day. This is when I was living in Florida. I lived down there for like 4.5 years. And I lived over by the Gulf Coast, and usually Gulf Coast, you don't get any waves. Like the Gulf of Mexico is kind of like a giant lake. There really isn't a whole lot of waves with them. And but this one day there was a hurricane that came, and the waves were like 8 to 10 feet. And so I was so excited, and I loved to body surf at that time. And so I was body surfing the waves and having a good time, and everything was great. And then I walked on the beach, and I didn't see that a especially big wave had started surging, and it hit me in the back, and I tumbled into the sand, and there were shells and everything just kind of like going everywhere. And luckily I was still like on the beach, so I didn't have my head underwater or anything. But when I got up, I look over, and my right side had completely been gouged out from all the shells and everything. And I could like see underneath, like I could see like the white of the flesh and everything like that. And I was just like, and bleeding everywhere. And I was just like, oh no, oh. And my mom was freaking out, and the lifeguard was giving me first aid. And all I remember was how thirsty I was. I was like, oh, I was like, just give me, and like my mom was like, I'm not leaving. And I'm like, Mom, give me some water. I just need water. I was so thirsty. But I didn't learn until later that the same feeling of being thirsty happens when your blood pressure's low. So because I was bleeding a lot, I was getting low blood pressure, which is sending signals to my brain that I was very, very dehydrated. And I needed to drink water. So it probably didn't help that, there was salt water and it was hot and there's salt everywhere. But it's just something to know that if you're especially thirsty for some weird reason, it may be low blood pressure because it has the same symptom. And usually in those kind of situations, you need it's probably a good idea to kind of you don't want that to be your only or your last experience with something. You don't want the last experience with something to be a negative one. So as much as how scary it may be, I think it would be beneficial to try to recover your relationship with water in your own pace, even if it's something small. So that way it isn't something that is always over your head. You know what I mean? Because that is traumatic. And reducing the amount of traumas one has in their life is probably a good idea. We get enough of those in general. Might as well start reducing of the ones that you have some control over. But definitely have help if you can too. It's good to have other people when you're trying to deal with that too. Pliny's uncle, Pliny the Elder, helped raise and educate him. Ah yes, my uncle, Pliny the Elder. It is me, Pliny the Younger. So we have Pliny the Elder, then Pliny the Younger. What would the brother be? Pliny the brother? Pliny the older? Pliny the other? Tell me that you're having a third child syndrome. Oh my gosh. Pliny the other is ridiculous. Oh man. Pliny the little to the writer. I can't give roses to my girlfriend anymore. She's gonna think I'm gay. So is Bara a subsection of Yaoi? Is Bara bear Yaoi? Are they saying Bara is for men and Yaoi is for women? Is that what I'm reading it? What? What? Is that what this is? Actually, this is the gay stuff for men. By men, for men. Hey, guys, why are we transgendering a shark? Specifically, why the IKEA shark? Building a strong emotional foundation before you can enter a romantic relationship should just be a thing people do. That shouldn't just be a sex for demisexuality. That's just a thing. That's just a thing. So I'm a confident demisexual? I guess? Oh shit, pre-roll is on. We need to go to ads. I completely forgot. This is why they don't do it. We will move towards the shark for transgenders after this commercial break. Mama Dodo is a demisexual icon. Hold on, what's the demisexual flag? Hold on. Demisexual flag colors. Well, let's just do flag, because obviously the colors... Oh shit. Hey, isn't that purple pretty like our purple? Guys, I think that purple is actually kind of my purple. I think it actually is the right purple. That's really funny. Bro, you'll figure it out. Don't worry. You're not supposed to have everything figured out now. I didn't even consider myself as demisexual, and I'm 33. So, like, you're good. Just feel yourself out. And you will continue feeling yourself out until the day you die, and probably beyond, for whatever that's gonna be. That's funny. An ace card, playing card, to show that you're on the ace community is so good. That's so funny. I may be demisexual, but my god, I have standards. Oh, that's hilarious. Basically, this far-right group was being dicks and then they used this emoji. So then they're just like, you know what? We're going to take this emoji that you used against us and we're going to make it an icon for us. That's so good. That's so fucking funny. I love that shit. High-fiving is gay. It's how you summon your unicorn mount. Have you high-fived your bros lately? His parents chose accordion over the guitar because they figured there should at least be one more accordion-playing Yankovic in the world. This is a reference to Frankie Yankovic, to whom he was not related. That's really funny. Just being like, yeah, you're not related or anything, but that's so cool that he like aired this song this kid made for him and gave that kid like a shot like that. We would not have had Weird Al if he wasn't willing to do that. That's so cool. He was being made fun of and called Weird Al, and then he took that name and made it his own. I think that seems to be the lesson for the day today. Consistently, we've seen the utilizing what is used against you and use it as your strength. Just take what people are using against you and make it your own. Turn it on them, where he was recorded a new parody live. Imagine being inspired by something and then eventually being a part of it. That has its own level of magic, doesn't it?